What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now it's time for the throwback Smackdown as the WWE takes a trip back in time. But what exactly does that mean? Well, join us now as we look at the 7th May edition of the Blue Brand, as well as the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know, including why did WWE change Roman's theme music? John Cena posts a cryptic clue as to whether he's coming back to the WWE. Roman Reigns breaks character on Smackdown last night. A debut on Smackdown is postponed, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. As always, we won't recap the show, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, some fun throwbacks. While the throwback set was awful, more on that later, there were some nice touches on the show, including Michael Cole's No Mercy throwback denim attire, as well as Pat McAfee dressing up as a future billionaire, complete with his gaudy powder blue jacket. Seeing some highlights from SmackDown was fun, and the WWE was wise in not showing too much, as these lookbacks generally expose the current product as being inferior. We also absolutely loved the fact that they put in the old SmackDown intro featuring Drowning Pool. The funny thing is, they even left the original footage of Rey Mysterio since he's still here. Number 2, Holla Holla. Now, speaking of SmackDown throwback moments, what could be better than the return of former SmackDown GM Teddy Long? Our fans love seeing Teddy, and the former GM was at his best, including his proclamation that tonight, Sami Zayn will go one-on-one with The Undertaker, a callback to the days when Long would punish wrestlers by pitting them against a Phenom. Long's appearance was definitely the high point of the throwback SmackDown Nostalgia Fest. Number 3, the return of Jimmy Uso. Finally, the Usos come back to SmackDown, as his return has been a long time coming, and the WWE has a perfect setup for adding an additional layer to the Tribal Chief storyline. Will Jimmy join Brother Jay in being part of the Tribal Chief's clan, or is he opposed to being Roman's bitch, as Jimmy so eloquently put it last night? This element could build suspense as fans question whether Jimmy will side with Jay and Roman or go his own way. While Roman could benefit from more backup, having Jimmy step out of his own could help build him up as a single star. Number 4, Daniel Bryan's 10-bell salute. Roman Reigns' 10-bell salute for Daniel Bryan, who Reigns sent packing last week when he defeated Bryan in a match where Daniel had to depart SmackDown forever if he lost, was a reminder of what an excellent heel he is. Having advisor Paul Heyman personally deliver a 10-bell salute was the kind of arrogance fans have come to expect from Roman. Furthermore, it helped give Cesaro more motivation in wanting revenge on Reigns for sending the beloved babyface away for good. Number 5, teasing Roman vs Seth. As the WWE continues to slow build to Seth Rollins vs Roman Reigns, as the two Shield teammates confronted each other over the Usos' interference in the Cesaro vs Rollins match to determine Roman's opponent at Backlash. Tension is building, but like any good storyline, the WWE isn't rushing things. Something unusual for the company, as it typically throws out storylines and feuds with little or no build-up. Our fans know that both men have a long history as both friends and foes, and when they do clash, things are going to be fantastic. Knowing Rollins' thick skin and desire to right any slight, don't be surprised to see him involved somehow in the Reigns vs Cesaro match at Backlash. Number 6, Bayley is better than ever. Bayley is great, one of the WWE's biggest success stories, as she went from a struggling babyface to a marvelous main eventer thanks to her heel turn. Bayley's work in the ring has always been strong, but her promo skills, which are already great, continue to get better. Bayley knows how to walk the tightrope of getting strong heel heat without falling into the abyss of go-away heat. Her appearance last night was another example of how she's doing everything right and why she should help Bianca Belair get over further as a new main eventer. Number 7, Cesaro does it. The Swiss Superman has done it, earning a Universal Championship match at Backlash by defeating Seth Rollins last night. Even better, they portrayed Cesaro as a strong challenger after he took out the Usos and Roman Reigns last night. As Cesaro's push continues, the fans wonder if Cesaro will be the man to finally defeat the Tribal Chief for the belt, or if he'll be Reigns' latest victim. With Seth Rollins still gunning for Cesaro, there's a strong possibility that he could interfere in the match, not to mention Jey Uso's seemingly mandatory interference in Roman's matches. Throw in the Jimmy Uso wildcard and you have a Universal Championship match with considerable drama and suspense, not to mention what could be a fantastic match between two of the WWE's best big men. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, another meaningless match. And we hate to bring up the name of Vince Russo, but Russo is right when he criticizes the WWE writers for their cut and paste approach to booking matches. Fans have seen Tamina and Natalya vs Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler week after week, so much so that fans are sick of the series, and that's assuming anyone cared about it in the first place. Simply putting the women into matches isn't enough to build interest, nor is repeated non-finishes like countouts and DQs. Seriously, is there any reason to have Nia Jax both on Raw and SmackDown? Whatever. But that was the bad. What about the downright ugly? Yeah, it's rare that SmackDown scores are downright ugly, but tonight's throwback edition of SmackDown was a bit of a disappointment, especially with the poorly designed stage that looked nothing like the original SmackDown set. Watching the show, fans had to wonder if the production team even remembered what the original SmackDown set looked like. Okay, maybe it was too much to expect to see the SmackDown Fist set, but the WWE's weak attempt to copy it with a projection was about as inspired as a fake Diesel and Razor Ramon. As for the set, it looked nothing like the Blue Brand's Ovaltron entrance, instead resembling the original Monday Night Raw with electronic curtains and the Hulkamania era WWF logo, with obviously the F taken out for legal reasons. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, SmackDown did start off in 1999, didn't it? So why the hell have we got some sort of 80s throwback with a hastily thrown together Titantron that resembles pretty much nothing? Geez, it would have even looked better if they just had a giant screen with a screenshot of the SmackDown Oval stage. Thankfully though, the majority of their show was entertaining and a good show from start to finish that featured some fresh matchups and some interesting spins on ones we've seen before. But what did you guys think of SmackDown last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at John Cena return coming soon. Now, if you've ever seen John Cena's Instagram account, it's a complete troll page with photoshops and cryptic messages, the latest one being a picture of the WWE logo. Could this mean he's coming back, as WWE on Fox even reposted it on Twitter? As some of you may know, he was supposed to be back for Mania, but unfortunately his movie schedule got in the way. Perhaps things are clearing up now for him to make a return, and as you know, it's rumored that fans are coming back at SummerSlam, so perhaps that would be a perfect time for a big return. Next up, Roman Reigns broke out on SmackDown last night. Now for those eagle-eyed viewers, you may have noticed that when Paul Heyman was doing the 10-bell salute to Daniel Bryan, when he was doing the ding, 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 Roman Reigns just couldn't help keeping the laughter. He managed to compose himself well during the last stages of it, but right at the beginning he definitely broke. We absolutely love things like this. Did you guys notice this? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a superstar debut has been postponed, and now that Retribution is split up, fans are curious to see what's next for the former members of the WWE's now defunct Rogue faction. One wrestler is Mia Yim, aka Reckoning, who was reportedly set to debut on the 7th May edition of the Blue Brand. However, that didn't happen, and Ringside News was reporting that Mia Yim was backstage this week and ready for her SmackDown debut. She was supposed to appear on last night's show, but it got pushed to another week. Next up, AEW Dark performers attend WWE Tryouts. A Fightful Select is reporting that several AEW Dark performers recently attended a WWE tryout held on 6th and 7th May. According to the report, a dozen people attended, including 4-year veteran Tesha Price, who has wrestled in the WWE early on in her career and has wrestled regularly on AEW Dark, with almost 20 appearances. Alex Garcia has wrestled for roughly 3 years and has wrestled over 12 matches in AEW, including one on Dynamite. It's believed that many of the wrestlers on AEW Dark and Elevation are not under contract, so the chance to get a contract elsewhere is worth a shot. There's been no indication that AEW has any problem with its free agents trying out with the WWE, and if they did, it would be a bad look for AEW, which boasts of treating its wrestlers fairly. And finally, why Roman Reigns has new theme music. Roman Reigns has new theme music, and while the new theme music can mean more sales for the new song, there's a big reason for it. During an interview with Complex, Paul Heyman explained it was the final step away from the Shield. That's what it was. One of the things that Roman Reigns and I spoke about, with all the final decisions being Roman Reigns. I am special counsel to the tribal chief, and that's not just a public persona on television. Behind the scenes, I'm special counsel to the tribal chief, and one of the many things that we were both desirous of were A change of the mannerisms, B, change the presentation, C, change the hairstyle, D, change the look. Roman Reigns has spent the last year creating a brand new persona, and while the first few months of his heel run had several bumps in the road, he's turned into one of the WWE's most exciting characters. But there you have it, folks, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly from this week's Smackdown, along with the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.